Greetings and welcome once again to all the people taking the time to watch this video and follow this channel. It's me, the AFAL champ, the adult fan of LEGO champion, here with set 11033. It's the Creative Fantasy Universe. Obviously, this is another classic set. It's an 1800 piece classic set. And, I got it earlier this spring and I decided to crack it open and give it a review, get the parts put away, really is what it comes down to. But yeah, so this was originally a $90 classic set. Again, I don't know who's buying these ultra expensive classic sets. I managed to get mine for 60. Since then, I've found it for 50. I did not buy it at 50, but I've seen it for sale at 50. And I think the price per part really takes a kind of a disproportionate impact on these the grades for these type of sets, because the builds are so weak that even for kids, like, you're really just trying to get pieces and parts. So getting a deal on parts is like the whole point of the set. And again, this is 1800 pieces, and I do think it kind of cheats you a little bit in that out of those 100 pieces, 100 of them, gosh, why can't I pick one up? 100 of them are just these little 1x1 round pearl gold studs. There's a lot of kind of relatively small pieces in here. You can look through it, and here there are some bigger plates like this. There's a bigger green one down right, you can see it there. I'm not going to pull it up, but right there's a bigger green one. That's kind of a big-ish green one. There's a long one, but the biggest brick is 2x6. I think there are some 2x4s, but there's not a ton. Most of the bricks are 2x2. There are some 2x4, but most of them are just 2x2 or 1x4. I don't know if you really want to call those big. I also don't know which one you want to call bigger, since they're the same in terms of area or volume or whatever. But yeah, most of them are not very big. Now, I'm not saying the parts are of low quality or anything like that. I mean, I do think that there's a good amount of good usable parts. I mean, you can see there's a pretty big pile of brown over here. And a lot of them are in, just standard, wall builder, or 1x4s, 1x2s, lots of whites. So I mean, I like the parts. Just be aware you're not going to get a ton of real big parts. There's actually some pretty good, I guess they're not really standard parts, but I mean, you get what look like kind of like log pieces in brown. That's always good to get. There's a bunch of white masonry bricks back there in the white pile. When we get away from bricks, there's several different types of leaves or plant pieces. Like there's this kind of old school one. There's this one. There's some little flowers. Here's a big flower. There's several animals in there. There's fish. There's frogs. And I think there's several different colors of, I know there's several different colors of frogs. There's gold. There's brown. Make sure I can see a brown one. Right there. Actually, yeah, there's a brown one, and there's some gold ones. There's bats in there as well. Other real good parts. Oh, there's way more minifigure accessories than you would expect out of a classic set. You got some swords. There's actually several different types of swords. But you can also see there are actually there's spears. I don't see where it is. There's like a cauldron piece in here somewhere. I know I just saw it. I just don't see it right off the top of my head. There's a fork piece in there. Here's a little hammer piece. So, I mean, the minifigure accessories aren't super uncommon minifigure accessories, but they're more than you normally get in a classic set. Speaking of things that more than you normally get in a classic set, there are more eyes than I think are really necessary, which is a common thing with a classic set. There's also more types of eyes. I feel like this year they came out with several new types. They also came out with some printed bricks like this that are only available in classic sets. So this is like the most rare part, if you really want to call it a rare part. I mean, it's really just a lime brick with a little line on it, but that's I guess the most rare part in this set. And then if we're gonna address rare parts, here's a whole rare color. You get the trans opal, 2x4s. I think this is the only set these come in. So this is obviously of excellent value right there. You also get it in the round bricks, 1x1 round, and in the studs. So that's nice to get those, and those are hard to come across. So that's nice to get those. I think, are there 2x2s in here? I could have swore there was. Yep, right here. Mixed in with the blues for some reason. But yeah, so those are the rare parts. And there's, like I said, there's always, it's a classic set. There's always too many bright colors. You can see, like, look at all those purples and pinks. There's a lot of bright blues as well. Actually, with the aqua, I did not have most of those elements in my collection, so they're not necessarily new or rare, but it's just new to me. I guess they had a pretty fair amount of pearl gold plates as well, which is not something you come across a ton. So in the grand scheme of things, again, all things considered, and I think I went over several positives and negatives and some things that were just informative. I'm going to give this a B. I mean, it's a classic set. So the builds are weak. You get a good deal on parts. I got a particularly good deal on parts, but not the best deal. You get a lot of, a lot of your pieces though are just little studs or just, eyes, which that's not necessarily the best deal and not going to help you build a ton. So in the end, I'm giving it a B. Again, it's above average. It's pretty good, but it's certainly not the best. So hopefully this has been a good 6 or 7 minutes of your life. Hopefully you can tell me if you agree or disagree or why or what should I build with all of this. Also, hopefully the air conditioning kicking on here just a second ago didn't create too much of a sound problem for you. But I hope I hear from you soon, which means you'll leave me a comment. I hope you hit the like button. I hope you hit the subscribe button and hear from me again soon. And as always, thanks for watching.